All right, so I'm not sure exactly how to do this, but I'm gonna try to share my screen or screen record while I'm watching Sister Wives so that you can see or hear my sort of reactions. Although I don't know if I'm gonna be talking that much, but if you want to watch Sister Wives with me, let's do that.
So Christine's got the 5 of us gathered together. Her house is under contract, it's being sold, and she has just told us that she's moving in a week. This is a very difficult conversation.
A year ago when I looked at mine and Kody's relationship and just really felt like I couldn't stay, but I hadn't quite decided to move and to leave. And I looked at our relationship, how I was, and I just got to thinking, it's not a relationship I would wish on any friend of mine.
But you said you didn't want to be married to me anymore when we were talking about moving to Utah.
So that conversation, I thought, my interpretation of the conversation was at the end of the conversation, I thought that you might be on team we can move. Polygamy got decriminalized. And I wonder why we're still here. We can move back home. I want to move back.
I'm in a place where I feel like my kids love it here. This is the most likely place for any of our kids to move back, our adult kids.
I'm surprised because I thought Kody was more in favor of this. But he's acting like we've never even talked about this and that he wasn't in favor of it last time we talked. Meri, I can't do marriage with Kody anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
Were you open to it? Were you open to moving, Kody?
I didn't want to move. I like the idea of living in Utah. I don't like the idea of moving.
To me, he was open to Utah. The end of the conversation.
But I wonder, isn't this bigger than just that? I mean, this is bigger than just that.
Right. I think it's such a silly thing. I think what's happening here is Kody's grasping at straws, trying to figure out what happened, and essentially not figure out what happened from Christine's perspective, but he's trying to rationalize the fact that he's been left, right? That someone has the audacity to abandon him, I'm sure, as he feels, and so he's trying to pin it on something else. It wasn't really our relationship, it was the location. Right? He's just trying to deflect responsibility here. And I also want to say, I do think it's interesting how Kody, in every episode this season, always seems freaking confused. Like, the guy's processing is severely limited because he's in such denial. Christine, on the other hand, is so deliberate about communicating clearly what she's feeling. She tries to communicate in a really logical way, tries to avoid being sort of overwhelmed by her emotions. There's just a massive difference in what I would describe as composure and kind of, emotional maturity, at least as they're expressing their emotions here.
This wasn't just about the move to Utah.
No.
This wasn't just about...
It was just one of those things where I was like, am I really just on my own already? That's just what it felt like. Because I thought before, like, really honestly, he was giddy when we talked about moving to Utah.
No.
I remember it different. It's fine. I mean...
This is what I remember. I was interested in the family, not in the man. That's been your mantra. But it became about the man and not about the family. And that, I think, is my angry place. That's the reason I'm struggling with this, is because we've invested, and it wasn't about the family, it was about the man. And this is my frustration.
Okay, hold on. Christine has always said it's about the family, not the man. I want to be in a polygamous family because I want the family, not just the man. Right? I don't think she ever said it has nothing to do with the man, but I want to be in a polygamous family or lifestyle because I want the family. And now Kody is saying, why are you giving a shit about the man now? Why can't the man be a jerk? Why aren't you going to put up with a crappy relationship with the man because I've given you this family? I think it's a weird thing. I mean, I still think that this is just, part of this is just me coming out from a monogamous sort of mindset. It's so weird for me to hear him openly describe the relationship as being not a healthy one, not a valuable one to him, right? He's conceding that the relationship sucked, and he's still exasperated by the idea that Christine wants to leave. so odd to me.
Frustration. And it's also my accusation. I'm angry that you weren't willing to invest in the family, but you were only interested in what I could do for you, me as a resource for you. And it breaks my heart because now we're at this point where it's just over and it's done.
It's funny because I thought when I was doing this, I was like, I'm never going to talk. But God, he is just he's so out of touch. He has just such a limited grasp on like reality, right? I mean, I have not watched every episode or every season of Sister Wives, but everything that I have ever seen from Christine, I mean, the narrative here is that she is the sister wife that is doing the most in the way of taking care of kids. As far as I remember, right? Like she was complaining about being the basement wife that was just there taking care of the family. She has put her whole life into the family. I don't know what he's referring to as far as her just looking at him for what she can get from him. I mean, that she wants a relationship? It's just, I don't know. Someone in the comments, let me know. But my understanding is she has been, of the 4 wives, hasn't she been the most devoted to taking care of the family? Let's see how she responds.
Thank you for coming into the family and helping me sort of gather up this mess that I was in.
Hold on. I'm gonna go back. I gotta go back. He's just out to lunch. Hold on.
And what I could do for you, me as a resource for you.
It's fine. I mean,
This is what I remember. I was interested in the family, not in the man. That's been your mantra. But it became about the man and not about the family. And that, I think, is my angry place. That's the reason I'm struggling with this, is because we've invested, and it wasn't about the family, it was about the man. And this is my frustration.
What does he mean? We've invested in you as one of the sister wives. We put all this energy into a member of the family. He feels like he's been burdened by that.
And it's also my accusation. I'm angry that you weren't willing to invest in the family, but you were only interested in what I could do for you, me as a resource for you. And it breaks my heart because now we're at this point where it's just over and it's done. I thank you for coming into the family and helping me sort of gather up this mess that I was in.
It stings when he says that because it's directed at me, probably. You know, when Janelle came into the family, I was jealous. I was sad because I didn't have the time with him that I had had prior. You know, I was young. I was not yet fully mature, nor was he or her, you know, and I mean.
It's sad, like that she's describing it like that what I would think of as the callous place that she's at now, right? She has just experienced so much emotional trauma for the last 25, 30 years that they've been together, that now she can deal with the pain that comes from sharing Kody with these other women. And she describes herself when they first got together, that jealousy as a lack of maturity. I mean, I guess it's sort of like a cognitive dissonance, right? Like if she honors those feelings, she honors the feelings of jealousy now, then her behavior is a real problem. So what she'd rather do is convince herself that those negative feelings were irrational or immature.
We're dealing with a lot of new situations. And so he's like, oh, let's get Christine and come and save the day. You know, and that stings.
I also thank you for ripping off the Band-Aid so quickly, because it was never going to work if it all had to be about me, as you had always indicated it wasn't.
I think that's a low blow. I think she was about the family. She's been about the family. She's been about the kids. And she needed more of a relationship with him. You know, I think there's a point where you stick around and you try to make it work. And then there's a point where it just doesn't work anymore. And why be miserable for years, decades.
You came into our lives. You did us a favor. You're leaving. I almost feel like it's a favor too. But I don't know, because I'm still upset because I'm trying to figure this out.
This is awkward. They're sort of hashing out their relationship in front of us. But if they talk, if they're talking, I believe that there's always a chance for a miracle. People go through, get close to divorce and then change their mind all the time. She may say she's divorced, but in my head, technically, she's not. And so I'm just kind of like, well, maybe they can talk this out.
So.
Don't word it. Just think about what I said.
No.
Soak in that.
Well, you better not give me any rebuttal. Just listen to what I said.
I want to try that with my wife. Hey, I just said this super mean thing to you. I don't want you to have any kind of response. I just want you to marinate in the pain. I want you to feel how terrible what I said was to you. And maybe that will help you come onto my side. I think he thinks that if Christine were logical like him, she would go, oh my gosh, I'm making a grave mistake. I want to join this family in which I don't feel connected to my husband.
I mean, I don't know who this patriarchal guy is, because this is not the guy I was married to for years.
I did love the idea of a family.
That's true, right? Last season when I started reacting to these videos, I kind of remember Kody. I mean, I know he was bad last season, but having watched Sister Wives sort of sporadically over the last 10 years or so, I remember thinking that he was a goofball. I remember thinking that he was, I thought he was kind of nerdy, but I always thought that he was joyful and fun and invested in his kids and his wives. But now, over the last 2 seasons, he has seemed like a narcissistic, like a calloused, narcissistic, domineering asshole. I mean, I'm trying to think of he just feels so not the way that he was. He has slid downhill.
Family, of having sister wives, of raising kids together. If you and I don't have a good marriage, and it is an important part of a plural family, that each relationship and each marriage is strong too. We always talk about the spokes in a wheel, and when there's a spoke that's broken, how do we keep it going? And so I stayed.
But I made it about the family. I did so much for the family. It was all about having family functions and family get-togethers and family parties. My house was always open to everybody. I loved the big family activities that we had. The big family is great, but when you feel like you're a minimal person in Kody's big picture and you really don't even matter in the big picture, it changes the perspective on everything.
I've been heartbroken for years. For years I've been heartbroken in our relationship. I was tired of being heartbroken.
Because you've
just tired.
No big picture, just you.
You don't think I stayed for the big picture as long as I did?
I guess.
Because I wanted it to work?
Thank you.
I wanted it to work?
I don't know.
What's the big picture? What is he? The big picture is, I guess what I was going to say here. The big picture is the way that he's promoting polygamy. The big picture is the way that the world sees the family. The big picture is creating a warm environment for the kids. I don't know what he means by the big picture, but if I were Christina, I would be thinking the big picture for me is that I am sacrificing my satisfaction in this one life that I have. I'm going to sacrifice everything to be with this guy that won't give me the time of day. I don't understand she's supposed to sacrifice her satisfaction in life for whatever his big picture is. I don't know.
There's this realization of, screw it. You know, it's like, listen, this has been bad for a long time, and I've sat here whining about it breaking up recently, whereas I'm lucky it even lasted this long. I'm coming to that realization that I'm so upset about how this has gone down, and I don't know the exact reason. I don't know. I think I'm angry because when you get divorced, you're supposed to be. I have no idea what's going on with me, but I am really upset by this. And if I really boil it down, if I bring it to the core of what's going on, it feels like after all I have done, I'm being rejected anyway. And it's just not rejection for me. It's rejection for some of my kids and my other wives.
I have seen her non-acceptance.
I think that's fair. I don't know how much Kody has done for Christine or whatever. I think it's fair for him to feel like that. Yes, she is rejecting him. Yes, she is choosing herself, and I think some of the kids that she feels connected to, and she is that is part. Like, we can't just say Kody's wrong about all of this. Like, this is certainly Christine is making a choice and rejecting this lifestyle. I don't think that happens in any divorce, right? You are rejecting something if you leave.
Robyn, through the years.
She's treated you like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship you have with her. And that's the reason I'm angry. That's the reason I'm pissed off. I just feel like now that she's leaving, I just felt like giving her a piece of my mind with that leaving. So I'm curious, in all of this, it seems like my relationship with all the kids, the adult kids, is really off too. Have you been talking to the adult kids about this?
No, we don't. We rarely, no one wants to talk about this. I think your relationship is off with your kids because of COVID, not because of me.
Bull, you're telling them.
I am so impressed with Christine, right? She could say your relationship is off with the kids because you've been neglecting them. Your relationship's off with the kids because you're being hypocritical. You're choosing one wife or another. Like, there's a lot of things that Kody has specifically done that has led to his relationships being off with the kids. So she takes the high road. It's because of COVID, and sort of the rest of it is the implication. And that now it looks like he has no ability to accept any responsibility. He thinks it's all because of Christine. It's all because Christine's been saying negative things about him.
It's Christine telling them. She's running to this person, to this person, to this person, to this person to complain about the relationship. She's playing a game. She has been playing games for years. I just call bull. I cannot figure out why I'm so angry.
I mean, it is sad.
I've seen you grieving, Kody, like in a way I've never seen you grieve before. You disguise it, but it's grief.
I don't know how to explain it. He's just been off. He's gone to a more angry place quicker than he ever did. I finally realized it's a grieving process for him.
I guess maybe I'm mad because I feel like an investor who poured everything, that he had into something and then, it just didn't work. In our marriage, I was putting so much effort. I was holding her hand. I was kissing her. Well, I wasn't in love. I was doing it as my duty as a husband. And she's not either. I mean, she quit loving me years ago. And now that we're here, I'm just so upset.
Okay, can we listen to that again? Let's listen to this again. That is wild. So he just names it. Yeah. I don't love her. She doesn't love me.
It's a grieving process.
And I've sacrificed by kissing her and holding her
feel like an
hand.
investor who poured everything, that he had.
And how dare her leave me?
And then, it just didn't work. In our marriage, I was putting so much effort. I was holding her hand. I was kissing her. Well, I wasn't in love. I was doing it as my duty as a husband. And she's not either. I mean, she quit loving me years ago. And now that we're here, I'm just so upset because
What is he wanting to do? He's wanting to just have this harem of women that are stuck with him, that he doesn't care for, that he doesn't love, that he doesn't really emotionally support. I mean, the last episode was clear that was the relationship he had with Meri. Clearly, he's got that relationship with Christine. I just heard, via TikTok that I think it was Gwendolyn. Apparently, Janelle's out. I mean, all of these women have no relationship. They are essentially being held hostage by his vision for what polygamy should look like. His vision for a family, he's holding that over their heads. If they leave, they're abandoning his vision, they're abandoning the family, but he's got no real emotional connection with anybody except for Robyn. And the fact that he is able to articulate that and still think that it's unfair for Christine to leave is shocking to me. He's just such a distorted view on reality in my mind.
it's like, it's not the breakup of two people, it's the breakup of a family.
Is it too much?
I'm gonna say one more thing. I think it's a miss for Kody to think, and for the viewers to think, that Christine leaving the Brown family is any more of a sacrifice or a travesty or a point of pain than anybody in any relationship leaving their partner. It's just as devastating. You could argue that because there's 3 other wives that this is less significant, right? But what he's talking about, I don't think that it being, a polygamous family makes it any different, or a plural family makes it any different as far as breaking something up. It's just as sad if you break up a small family. Like I think he's acting like there's more on the table here because it's this bigger family. But the pain is the same. And the point is, regardless of what you're breaking up, if you are in a relationship that is as destructive as Christine and Kody's, you got to get out.
Much of a shock. Has anybody else got anything to say, or is that just... You have a look on your face like you know the whole world, but you're not going to say something.
What?
You look like the bird that ate the mouse.
What do you think I have to say? I don't know why he's saying this to me. I really don't. I've had plenty of thoughts throughout the conversation, but it's really not my business to say.
Tone in her voice says it all, doesn't it?
No, I really don't know what you're talking about.
I know Mary's tics. I know she's leaking emotionally. And I recognize it after all these years. It drives me nuts normally, but now I'm like looking forward to sort of be supportive. Really, I feel like I'm swimming in some really deep water, and I'm looking for somebody to throw me a life raft here. Because I think this is like the last time we're ever going to have this discussion, right? So
Meet here and talk here?
Well, yeah, the house will be sold, you'll be gone. This is it. And I'm the only one saying something, and I am just a mixed ball of emotions.
You're not the only one that's saying something.
I'm struggling today, so I'll do better another day.
This whole thing that she's telling us today is just a shock. I don't know, today I just know that I'm not completely calm. I'm struggling.
Some days I get really hey, we'll figure this out. We'll figure out some way to still make it be cohesive and workable and that kind of thing. I don't know today.
It's a strange world to be going through a divorce, I guess, while you're married to somebody who's loyal and loving. But she's been going through it with me. She came in this family cap in hand saying, please accept me, please accept my children. she, with me, is being rejected.
Dealing with a lot of anger and mourning. I don't mean to push you away. I'm just frustrated.
You're not pushing me away. I know you're frustrated, and I know you're angry, and I know it's hard.
I wonder if they get as annoyed with Robyn's crying as the audience does.
My emotions feel so pathetic that I'm frustrated by it. Plural marriage isn't easy, and on a bad day, you can feel trapped in it. And she's getting out of the lobster bucket. I'm in this really hard lifestyle partly because of her. And it has been very, very hard partly because of her. And she's just leaving now.
I have definitely been mourning the loss of the family culture.
Are you interested in like trying to work stuff out, maybe from the past how many years?
I think for right now, I need space.
Okay.
For right now.
Well, I may as well stand up and leave. There's no point of me being here in this conversation.
It's kind of that last little bit of hope sort of dying.
So, okay, I guess I have a question. Like, are you in a place where you just want to go do your thing? And those of the kids that have a relationship with you, you'll spend time with them or whatever. And then the rest of us that maybe you don't have a great relationship with, do we just need to, like, give you your space? Are you interested in some sort of a, like, trying to work stuff out, maybe from the past how many years?
I think for right now, I need space.
Okay.
For right now.
I have definitely been mourning the loss of the family culture, and you know, there's this part of me that has wondered, you know, if Kody's not in the picture for her, will it be easier for her to have a relationship with me and my kids? And so that's what I'm kind of asking.
But I do see us getting together for family reunions, and I do see us having fun together. And
Is that the extent of what you want? Just
For
a
now,
family
yeah.
reunion?
for now, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Robyn's wanting, but I do think it's an interesting point on Robyn's part that if there has been a split between Robyn's kids or the younger kids, right, and then the older kids, Janelle and Meri and Christine's kids, I do wonder if Kody being involved, if Kody favoring Robyn, if Kody treating Robyn's kids differently than he does Christine's kids, I bet you she's right that does breed resentment on Christine's part, and maybe Christine is less willing to be caring or supportive or invested in Robyn's kids. So it's an interesting, I can see why Robyn is hoping that maybe that's sort of a silver lining for her and her kids, that Christine wants to get more involved. But the challenge is, hey Robyn, you've been in the relation or the family here for a long time. And if that relationship hasn't been developed at this point, it's really difficult to try and get the divorced wife to come back in and invest time in your kids. And it does feel, just as a side note, just as I'm thinking about this, it does feel a bit selfish. Like, I don't know that Robyn is saying, can I still have a relationship with your kids? Robyn's not saying, hey, can I develop, I want to connect more with truly, right? What Robyn is saying is, for my kids' sake, right? I joined the family for this family culture. I want my kids to have that. Can you still, will you still be involved? There still is a very selfish slant to it on Robyn's behalf. But I guess it's also selfish and appropriate for Christine to say, you know what, at this point that's not what I want, and so I need my space. I think Christine's in a good, psychologically, a very stable position right now.
As far as the relationships with the other adults, I think Janelle and I are super close, but I'm not that close with the rest of you. And for right now, I kind of need it that way.
It's kind of that last little bit of hope, sort of dying.
But it's true, and Robyn knows it's true. And if Robyn wanted a relationship with her, then Robyn should have made it happen. That's what everybody's been saying all along. Robyn has been aware of this happening, but she had the good relationship with Kody, so she didn't care. I don't think that Robyn put any effort into really connecting with Christine or helping Kody connect with Christine. I think Robyn likes to be the perfect wife in Kody's mind, and she has enjoyed that position of privilege. And so this is, you know, everybody online calls her sobbing Robyn. Like, this is Robyn being emotional again about something she is very aware of, and I would argue has had a hand in, right? I don't think she lives that far away from Christine. She could have cultivated a relationship if she really wanted one.
My immediate thought was, well, I may as well stand up and leave because there's no point of me being here in this conversation. She doesn't want to work on anything. And I have seen her non-acceptance of Robyn. And I have seen her disdain for me through the years. So as much as it hurts me, I'm glad to know where she actually stands.
I'm not trying to end it that way, though.
And where Meri stands, at least Meri is recognizing this is the reality. This is the reality that we're all living in. Now we're finally talking about it. So Meri can be frustrated by it. Meri can be annoyed that she doesn't want to work on it. But the reality is that Meri understands that's the relationship that she has. And Meri, I don't think Mary's put the effort in to cultivating the relationship with Christine.
No, to me, it's not an end. It's kind of like
this
time.
This isn't not a trap.
I didn't think
question.
So. I didn't think so.
It's a real question.
I think it's a real question, too, and I appreciate the real question.
It's like, I don't know what I am.
She's treated you like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship you have with her. And that's the reason I'm angry. That's the reason I'm pissed off, is because you never tried to have a really good relationship with these other people. And that's the reason I'm pissed off.
That's not true.
And it's just
I did.
vomiting out of me because I've sat here with it just like, Christine, try and do this. You wanted to renegotiate a relationship with me, but you wouldn't even have a decent one with them. Always about the kids. That was the easy part. Man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years. And the sacrifices that I made to love you. Wasted.
Okay. People online I am sure, are going to criticize Kody for getting that upset. I bet you some people are going to say, you know, clearly he's unhinged, clearly whatever. Given what he's going through, given the fact that there's a divorce, given the fact that he is losing his family, given all of this, that level of anger and frustration, I think, is totally appropriate. We can critique whether or not whether or not he's making intellectually valid points. I don't think so. But his frustration, his anger, and expressing it that way, I would argue, is totally appropriate. Now, as far as what he is saying, again, it's the same mantra he's been sharing the whole time. He feels like it is unfair for Christine to leave the marriage with him just because she doesn't love him, and just because he has sacrificed to show her love, right? He is acknowledging that there is no love there, and he's baffled at why she would abandon him. And he's mad at her for not having done more with the other wives. That's what's the grievous mistake that she made. I mean, I think his position is way out there, but the emotion, I think, is fine, is appropriate, and he should say it. He should. I think that's okay.
But accountability is what I've been asking for here. And you are running away rather than being accountable. You're like...
Kody is looking for accountability, wants Christine to take accountability. Got it, Kody, got it.
I'm divorced. I'm leaving. I'm done with you. You're out of my house. Instead of actually making the relationships work and trying. If you're not trying to be your best self in this relationship or in this family, then you are wasting your time. Marriage is a call to be better than you are.
Like Cody's done a great. Kody has been his best self with all of his wives.
Plural marriage is a higher call.
Okay, look, I never tried to treat anybody like crap. I never tried. I never did.
But you did.
Well, I'm sorry.
God,
I
you
didn't
on
mean to.
people so much.
I didn't mean to.
And you admitted to it. And you couldn't correct it. And now we're sitting here with a broken family over it. And you're like the freaking Pied Piper. You're trying to take the kids
No, that's
with
not
you.
even okay.
I could sit here and dissect everything that Kody has said and give you my point. But we've done this for years. I'm tired. I'm tired. It doesn't matter. It's over.
So thank you. Thank you for coming. It was a blessing. Thank you for leaving. Because now I'm sitting here trying to find the silver lining. I just hope it's a blessing. I just feel like for the past 14 years, I've just been sucking it up with her. You know, just trying to be a loving husband. Now that she's leaving, I just felt like giving her a piece of my mind with that leaving. This ain't my fault. You did this, is what I feel like. I don't care if that's not fair. That's how I feel.
It's funny. What I was gonna say is, Kody, what would be required? What would be required for you to recognize that it was your fault? Like what would make it your fault? What are the markers that would tell you, Kody, that someone is leaving and you had a hand in it? And then he just said, I don't care if it's not fair, that's how I feel. So he doesn't, he's able to operate in this place that's outside of reality. He's able to operate in an irrational place and own it.
She did this. She's going to go around telling my kids that I didn't love her. I feel like she needs to realize here with this that she wasn't loving me.
Thanks, honey.
I'm not trying to take sides, but I feel like Kody was really harsh. Even though he tried to dilute it a little bit, it seemed very pointing to one relationship. I just feel like that being a good sister wife, it takes both sides. It takes reciprocation. It takes work on all the sides and work on the part of the husband.
Janelle has a great deal of sympathy for Christine during this divorce. But it's a disappointment, it's a sadness to me, because Janelle has shown me no tenderness, no kindness, no empathy while I'm going through the divorce.
I didn't try and be bad at anything.
I think it's emotion.
I didn't try and be bad at anything.
It's emotion.
This is not just emotions. That response from Kody was not just emotion. That response from Kody was real. And he said some things he probably has been holding in for a long time. I'm glad he said it.
I have a lot of empathy for Meri. I think she's in a horrific relationship. I think she can't get out of that relationship, and I think she is stuck pining after a man for the rest of her life. She's on the trajectory of pining after a man that will never truly love her, truly have affection for her. I feel bad for her. And that response, I don't think is a fair response. I think that response is Meri happy that Kody is favoring her, that Kody is being nicer to her than somebody else. I think Meri wants the other wives. She was the first wife, and I think she thinks she's hoping to be the last one standing. I think there's a part of her that feels good when Kody lashes out at the other wives and protects her. I think she has been waiting for so long to be at his side, to be in favor, that I think there's a part of her that appreciates it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Why don't they talk to me? If I have sister wives are mad at me, why don't they talk to me instead of talking to Kody? It doesn't help.
I know that in our family, every one of us has had a conversation with another one of us about another one of us. It has happened with Robyn, with Kody, Janelle, and Christine, like everybody.
I learned very early on in my relationship with Kody, venting my frustrations about a sister wife didn't work. It made him angry, it made him upset, and I realized I was talking about someone he loved.
Christine, for 2 years now, was constantly complaining about her sister wives and why she didn't want to live with them in one house. It hasn't been the other wives tattling or backstabbing her or anything like that. It's been her telling me how she felt about them.
I guess, I just wanted to double check. It sounds like you'll continue to have the relationships with the people you're close with, and those that you aren't close with, then you just want it to stay distant. Okay. All right.
For right now.
Sorry to see you go.
Through the years, as I have had issues with Christine, I've tried very hard to approach her, to try to talk to her, to text her, to call her. I was met with walls, rejection, just her not wanting to discuss things through.
I feel like there's been some things said against me behind my back. So do I want to be friends with someone who complains about me behind my back? Well, not right now. I think this is one of the saddest conversations I've ever been in. I don't regret leaving at all, though. I still stand firm that leaving is 100% the right thing to do. And moving and getting away is definitely the right thing to do. But I'm sorry I'm leaving a mess behind.
So about a week ago, Christine announced to me and the other wives that she was moving. The house had sold and she was leaving. I guess this became the ultimate awareness for me, where I finally had to admit she's leaving it, and I had a meltdown. But I'm trying to put that to the side and go on with my other relationships as best I can.
Since we all talked to Christine at her house, we've all sort of retreated back to our own little holes. So I don't know, I haven't seen anybody, I don't know what everybody's planning, but I have to keep moving forward on the property. I don't know if it means I'm gonna live here alone or what, but my eggs are all in this basket and I'm just moving forward.
APS came out and I talked to them about everything.
About electric? Mm-hmm. APS stands for Arizona Public Service. They're basically the provider for electricity in this area.
So
We can't get electric for an empty lot.
it's a little bit intimidating to think about staying over the winter. I think maybe it might work without electricity. I'd have to have, I don't know. I'm willing to try because I believe so much in staying out here and bringing this house to fruition.
Like, okay, so we could get electric with a permit for building though, right?
Yeah, so I mean, that's down the road, but in October, I'm gonna have to move up there for a little bit.
So I've been at the trailer 2 months. It's mid-August. I have 2 more months before the permit runs out. In our county, we only can stay on our own property for 4 months a year in a trailer. So I have to have somewhere to go for November, December, January, February. Hopefully by February, I'll start building. So I had planned to move up to lot 3, which was going to be Christine's lot, for the winter.
I know my heat works because I've been using it. I mean, I'm really good to try
Well, the
going up there.
generator's working really good,
Yeah,
right?
I know, it's so great.
My heat is propane, and I have these very big tanks. And I just need a generator or a battery, which I would charge up the battery during the day, and then it runs all night. I can run the heater.
So I'm willing to try it.
It's a really big difference in Flagstaff living in town versus living out here. The winters are harsher. It's colder, way more snow. It's just a hard winter. And I can't even imagine trying to do it in a fifth wheel.
But basically, you know, Savannah is settled in. She's okay. You know what I mean? She's doing all right.
So my ultimate goal with building would be to have a house built by the time Savannah goes to her senior year. That is about a year from now. I'm up against huge odds to make this happen, but the plans are being drawn. I know what it's going to look like. I can visualize it in my head. I want this to happen.
So I could be done by next school year if everything stays on track.
There is so many moving parts to this, and she keeps trying to move forward without coming back to the one main thing that's the main thing. We have to pay off the property. We do not have the means to pay off the property, therefore we cannot get the lots organized the way we need to. Christine is picking up and she's moving to Utah. We're done. She's done with us. She's out. She's leaving, so she's basically handing over her value in Coyote Pass to me as exchange for my equity in her house that she's selling. But we can't pay off Coyote Pass by selling off a lot because we need to pay it off so that we can reconfigure it so we get more value out of it.
You know, I mean, like maybe it's a horrible thing and I give up, but part of me is like, I'm just determined to try to make this work.
Okay.
Look, Kody has never really been engaged in my housing since we moved here. He was mad when I went from my first rental to my second rental, even though the second rental was much bigger. And he was mad because it wasn't as nice. But you know what? He has a house that he lives in up on the hill with Robyn, and it's really nice. And I have nothing. So I'm trying hard to build myself something here.
The original plan from the very beginning was that we would build on Coyote Pass, but we ran into some real problems when we moved here. So we bought a house for Christine, and then eventually we had to buy a house for Robyn. I know this is bothering Janelle, but I've been invested in this from the very beginning. And the problem is we do discuss it. I get involved in her house, but she doesn't like me being involved because I disagree with her. So instead of coming to a meeting of the minds, she just does whatever she wants.
Look, I know you're like, we should have just bought, but I felt like this was the right thing to do.
No, it's not even just buying, it's just renting.
Kody, if I were to rent in town, it would just be out of sight, out of mind again, you know? I mean, so that was part of the whole reason I wanted to move out here was to
I think I can't imagine living where she's living and living in a fifth wheel like that. And it's just isn't it so clear the sort of catastrophic impact his relationship with Robyn is having on the other sister wives. I mean, there's just a complete lack of equity. And so as a consequence, Janelle's got to do her own thing, right? If she just rents, it's out of sight, out of mind, nothing ever happens. She just languishes, and she's got to try and make this happen because Kody's not invested enough in her to participate in it. And he doesn't see it.
Keep me moving along.
I have gotten myself in a very stupid position as far as an independent woman. If I were to leave or want to leave right now, I would have no estate. I have nothing to leave to my kids. My hands are completely tied because everything I have asset-wise has everybody else's name on it too.
So maybe that's why she's rushing to get her plot figured out. She wants to have an asset, a solid asset. Maybe that's going to be hers, right? Because Christine's plot was hers. She gave it away, but the plot was Christine's. This plot is Janelle. So if Janelle can build on it, maybe that's why she was pushing so hard, is she can build on it, and then she has the opportunity, if she wants to leave, she has something. Interesting.
All are owners of the property. Our names are on different pieces of the property. So we actually all do have an asset. My home does have Kody and I's name on it.
You know, through the years, we've had multiple people on the homes because in the past, we really have just worked together as a family, and so it really didn't matter. We all just kind of had each other's backs and, we're all in this together.
Honestly, I gave half the proceeds from my house in Vegas to Robyn to help purchase this house that she's in currently. We also at that time pulled a lot of money from the joint family account to help get her into that house. We have a family account and the same amount of money is in it as when we bought Robyn's house. And it was okay to deplete at that point to pay for Robyn's house. And I'm like, we did for Robyn, we did for Christine. Why can it not be my turn?
Will,
I would go nuts if I were Janelle. I've said it 100 times, but it's just so unfair. And his lack of awareness of that is beyond me. God, get out.
A matter of finding the money for Christine's house or finding the money for Robyn's house. It was a matter of having the money. Now we don't have the money.
So I'll keep moving forward because I have to think that whatever we're doing is going to blaze the trail for the other pieces.
Yeah. I'm in this weird place with my wives. I've got this huge struggle that has gone on with Christine. And what's happened is I've just become agreeable. And so I'm sitting here just going, yeah. When I know it's just, there's a disconnect. And in order for her to start building on this land, we have to pay it off. All right. I needed a place where I could actually nurture a relationship with Janelle and Savannah. And it's too late. We already have the RV. We'll look into getting propane.
All right, baby. See you later.
Savannah gonna be a senior in high school next year? Kody, you had some time to cultivate the relationship with your daughter, I don't know, over the last 17 years? And he's gonna turn it into Janelle's fault that he doesn't have a relationship with her.
See ya. It's exhausting our emotional resources.
I'm not asking him to do anything. I'm not asking anyone else to come out here and build. Nobody else has to make any decisions. And I'm not asking him for any money except for the money that the family has pledged to pay off this property when we first bought it. So that's all I'm asking, is for him to honor that commitment, for everybody to prioritize that. And then after that, I don't care. I'm just trying to build something for myself here.
So things are really, really difficult right now with a family. But, you know, Kody and I still have little kids that are going back to school in person for the first time. And, you know, I want to have them feel special and, like, excited about their day and stuff.
Oh my goodness. Fun, school.
Today was the first day of school for the kids, but the most important thing is it's Ari's first day of kindergarten. Solomon was in 3rd grade last year, and he was online the whole entire year. This is his first day back in person, too, which is really fun.
Hi!
Hi, Ariella. Hi, Saul.
First day!
How was it?
Good.
Did you make friends?
Yeah. Yes.
We did get a report from Ariella's teacher that there was a girl that was there that was shy and sad. And that Ari was very helpful, that she tried to hold her hand and help this other person. Hey, come here. Hey, I want to know how your day was.
My day was good.
Ari's very gregarious, very brave. She's a little girl that I'm actually very proud of.
My friend was sad because they wouldn't leave.
I know he didn't mean it, but didn't it sound like this is the child that I'm proud of. The other 17, not so much. This is a girl I'm really proud of.
Her alone.
Okay, your friend was sad because you wouldn't leave her alone?
Yeah, I was trying to be next to her so she couldn't feel lonely.
Were you being too much of a pest?
Oh, we don't use that word.
Bothering
Let's be nice.
her. Not bothering her.
You're bugging her? Oh, really? I'm so sorry.
She kept running away from me. Why was she running away? Oh, she was a tiny bit of engaged with someone, and she had a man, but he cut her off. Breaking up, yeah.
Were you nervous when I dropped you off to school today?
Yeah.
You were? Did that teacher take you to your class?
Yes.
And you were okay?
Yes. I almost ran back there, but I was like, okay, no, first day of school. Mommy, first day of school. Mommy, first day of school. Mommy. You're shy. Why are you offended? It's true.
Mama was sad when she dropped you off.
Yeah, I was like, my baby. I think it was the hardest. It's the hardest drop off I've ever done. And I went and got in the car with Kody, and I was like, gosh, that's scary. That's hard. I don't like this. And he was like, yeah, that was weird. And he was getting a little bit like emotional because he's like that.
I wonder what percentage of the other 17 kids Kody was there for their first drop off at kindergarten. I'm gonna go out on a ledge here and say probably not all of them, right? So probably pretty hard for the other wives to see that. It's just so unfair.
That's my last kindergartner too, and it was, I don't know, it was just kind of like this moment we just sat there in it going, whoa, you know, this is kind of difficult to do.
Hurry, open it, Pop. Who can be quiet?
So Kody, especially when they were little, was such a good dad. Like, I can remember a lot of things, like walking in a line, probably trying to go brush their teeth or something. I thought Kody was stellar. He did such an amazing job relating to his kids.
When each of Kody's kids were born, they all just brought him so much joy. I mean, he loved hanging out with them. You know, he was always a really, really good dad.
Let's write your name.
I think one of the most important parts about me leaving Kody was to keep the good memories that he has with the kids present. He used to wrestle with the older kids all the time. I just think it's important to remember all the good memories that the kids have of their dad. You don't want your kids to remember all the negative times. That doesn't serve anybody.
What would you call this? Your unicorn lunch? Well, you ate everything but the apple.
Almost all of, yeah, that's how much.
Good job. High five. Ariella is my 18th child. And there is this sense of this being the last, both for me and for Robyn, of being a very, something we just want to cherish. I sort of want to every day engage her and find out, what was your day like? And it's a poignant thought, sobering if well, to think that this is your last out of so many. All right, did you have a great day at school?
Yes, I did.
Did you have a great day at school?
Yes.
Brianna, did you have a great day at school?
I had a great day.
Probably because a boy was there. Let's go.
She's gonna graduate this year. Woo woo!
Come on inside.
And cut.
Wow. Next time on Sister Wives.
Mom, do you want to know something exciting?
Yes.
We're gonna live 20 minutes away from each other.
I want my mom to have everybody say goodbye to her.
Is any of the family, are you guys gonna do anything like a goodbye? Are we gonna go dump toilets on their lawn? Like, what are we doing? What's the plan?
No, I don't think we're doing anything like that.
Yes, she's divorcing my dad, but she's not saying, okay, peace out, I'm done with every single one of you.
I'm leaving in 5 minutes. I feel like my life is being unraveled for me.
You guys, thank you for coming. Hey, it means a lot to me that you came. I think this was the worst goodbye that I've ever witnessed. Thank you.
Crazy episode. Yeah, I don't have to say. Crazy episode. I think like trying to give like my summary points here. I think Kody's totally out of touch. I think Kody is out of touch. I think he's angry. I understand why he's angry. I don't think he's angry for good reasons. I understand why Robyn is angry. You know, right? Robyn was married, got divorced. I don't know what the context was for Robyn's divorce, but I assume it was a very negative relationship. Probably a relationship where she didn't feel supported by her husband. I don't know. I don't know what that was, but my guess would be that there's probably some similarities between the way Robyn was treated by her ex and how Christine is being treated by Kody. But Robyn's mad at Christine for advocating for herself and moving on, even though she doesn't recognize that she did the exact same thing. Robyn's mad that the relationship she had, the dynamic she wanted with the family is not going to be there with Christine gone. I think Meri is sad that Christine's leaving, kinda. I think Meri is also feeling like this is one less person to compete with for Kody's affection. That's my genuine reaction, is that I think Meri is okay with her leaving because, you know, I think she's jealous, but I think she's also okay that she's leaving because now it's more, you know, she's a bigger piece of the pie for Kody. I think Janelle, I mean, just based on what happened on TikTok this week, I think Janelle wants out. She's not being supported, and the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. She's trying to get something that is hers so that she can leave. That's her exit plan on Coyote Pass. So, thanks for listening. Put comments below, hit the subscribe button, all those things. Thank you.